is one of the major components of restructuring. And that's the reason why I'm surprised that some people believe that it's about state governors. Recall that when I was in the Senate, I sponsored 4 bills to create state police in Nigeria when I was in the 9th Senate. And of course, I also remember that in the 8th Senate, before I even got to the Senate, Senator Ike Ekwaremadu was championing the creation of state police, but it wasn't successful. When I came into the Senate, the 9th Senate, I championed the cause for the creation of state police. That was the reason why I sponsored 4 bills that can be put together to create state police. But I recall also that it was accepted at the level of the Senate, and in the Senate we are not governors, but we believe in it because we believe that state police is the way forward, because we need more boots on ground. Even the military will tell you, the Air Force will tell you that we need more boots on ground as we are speaking today. And if you look at the bills that are sponsored in the Senate for the creation of state police, there is nowhere that says that the state governors will have absolute powers to control the state police and use them for their political gains. Today, many state governors are creating vigilance services, also a motocon in the southwest, and who are controlling them really? They're state governors. And these ones are the ones that are not regulated by any law or constitutions of our country. So they are even more dangerous than state police. But state police, it will be the creation of the Constitution of Nigeria. And when you are creating the state police, the condition and the requirement to join state police will be the same thing with the federal police force. That's why we wanted to repeal and reenact Federal Police Service Commission when we are stating State Police Service Commission. If you look at the bill I sponsored at the level of the Senate, that even the Senate agreed and took you to the conference committee level between the Senate and the House. We only lost it by voting when 21 of members disagree with the creation of state police, and about 19 of us at that level of the conference committee agreed. So we lost it at the level of conference committee. That was what happened. But the Senate agreed on it, and it went to the conference. So there is nothing like governors trying to use it. Today, let me tell you the problem we're going to face. The creation of all these vigilance services, a motocon, at the end of the day, why is the law that allowed them to hold AK-47? Only last 2 weeks, in Zamfara State, if you read what happened, bandits came out and killed about 60 of the newly recruited vigilance services in Zamfara State. Why? Because the law prohibited them from holding weapons of the level of AK-47. But the bandits there can hold any level of firearms. That is another area that you need to look into. And when you look at the Firearms Act in Nigeria, it has been obsolete for about 40 years. And when I was in the Senate, I tried to amend the Firearms Act, because go and check the Firearms Act that we have here in our country. It's not in line with the global best practice. In Nigeria, you can be caught with firearms, and the police can release you if you pay fine of 50,000. Or if you go to court, you can pay less than 50,000, and you go home. Which country in the world that happens apart from Nigeria? That's the reason why the United Nations Center, the United Nations Regional Center for Disarmament of Arms in Africa came up with a very alarming report 2 years ago that about 350 million illegal arms are in circulation in West African sub-region. But about 200 million are domiciled in Nigeria. Nobody cares about that. Nobody really was worried about that. Today, if you ask me, why are all these bandits getting these weapons? Our borders are for us. Most of these wars that happens in most of these neighboring countries in Africa, they find it very easy to transport them to Nigeria, and that's what happened. That. So until we create state police, where they can be constituted on the basis of the constitution of our own country, giving them the legal and constitutional powers to hold firearms. It's not about governors. And the law is clear in our bills that where there's any problem, the federal police force will override the state police force. So there's not any problem there. And that's what I'm trying to draw the attention to some people to go back and read most of those efforts we made. And I have no doubt in my mind, the 10th Assembly will certainly revisit the issue because that is the only way forward.
Right.
And that's why I want to also comment, I must comment President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for being bold enough to also insist that the creation of a state police is the way forward. In our last meeting on Thursday, he made it clear that he is also supporting the creation of state police, and I think it's a commendable effort, and I want everybody to commend him for that because it's a bold step, it's a very commendable decision, and I have no doubt in my mind to go a long way in solving the problem of insecurity in our own country.
Right.
Okay, sir. Your Excellency, on these bills that you sponsored, I would like to ask, what are the specifics that will give Nigerians assurance that there won't be abuse of the police at the state level? Because, like Babajide said, it's worrisome to Nigerians. And people are beginning to say governors are likely to. Are there specifics in these bills? And then how do you think, in our own kind of situation, context, the state and the federal police will be able to work together?
No, it's the federal and state police is it's working in many other countries. You know, you travel outside Nigeria, you know what happens in America, you know what happens in many even developed societies. So it's not new. It's something that is common. But you see, we have put in some level of, in our, what do you call it, the bill for the creation of state police. We made it clear at that time when I was in the Senate, and I believe there's room for more improvement. More people can add more inputs. It's not something that we didn't succeed last time, but I believe this time around, if they try, they will succeed. But